Alright folks, welcome to the Leonard Cheshire virtual tour of the Armandale and Calderwood Country Park in West Lothian. This virtual tour is going to be split into 3 parts, with the first 2 concentrating on the Calderwood area and the third part concentrating on Armandale. The Calderwood half of the park takes up the majority of space, as overall the park is 220 acres and Calderwood takes up 130 of those acres. In the first 2 parts of this virtual tour, we'll be exploring the flora and fauna of the Calderwood itself, as well as the history of the villages surrounding the woodlands. So sit back, relax and enjoy. Midcalder is a gorgeous, picturesque village in West Lothian with a population approximately between 3,000 to 4,000. The village is located on a steep hill with beautiful views over the River Almond and the nearby Calderwood, and the village is very ancient, dating all the way back to at least the 12th century AD. And despite being peaceful and idyllic on the surface, Midcalder has the embarrassing distinction of being the first place in Britain to receive an ASBO, an anti-social behaviour order, in 2005 due to the behaviour of drunken teenagers. Midcalder is home to the Freemasonic Lodge of St John 272 on the roll of the Grand Lodge of Scotland. The lodge was formed in 1818, although Freemasonry was active in the area since at least 1750, and the lodge has enjoyed its own building since 1936 on Bank Street. Midcalder has also historically been a thoroughfare of the Highland Cattle Drive, which means for centuries cattle drovers from the Scottish Highlands passed through the village on their way down to the markets in England, which created a very prosperous local economy. The peak year was in 1840, when 150,000 cattle passed through the village in 3 months between August and October, and the presence of so many drovers in one place led to a total of no fewer than 9 public houses within the village itself, which for a village that size was an enormous amount of alcohol. A mile to the east of Midcalder lies the village of East Calder, which has a population approximately between 5,000 and 6,000. East Calder is the largest of the 3 Calder villages, and the emergence of the railway in the area in 1846 resulted in a huge increase in the local population. The village grew further in the 21st century due to its commuting distance between Edinburgh and Glasgow, and the word Calder itself is derived from 2 Gaelic terms amounting to the well-watered woods. The oldest structure in East Calder is the ruins of the very ancient St Cuthbert's Church, which dates back to 1148 AD. This church was dedicated to the 7th century Anglo-Saxon saint born in the Kingdom of Northumbria, St Cuthbert. The saint dedicated much of his life to converting pagans in the south of Scotland and the north of England to Christianity, where he gained something of a cult-like following. and St. Cuthbert was said to have performed many miraculous healings, not the least of which that 11 years after he perished, his mortal remains had not yet decayed. During the 19th century, many mining villages emerged across Scotland. One such example was the Oakbank mining village, which formed in 1864 for the local shale mining operation. By 1870, over 3 million tonnes of shale oil were being mined every year from the local area. But in 1962, the shale mines closed for good, and the village disappeared almost as quickly as it had first emerged. One of the lasting legacies of the shale oil industry in the local area is the Oakbank Bing, which is one of many shale bings to be found throughout West Lothian, left over from the shale oil industry of the 19th and 20th centuries. The bing was restored and reclaimed in the early 1990s by West Lothian Council, and today it resembles a natural hill formation through careful cultivation. The top of the bing has been stabilised and topsoiled with trees, plants and flowers prospering over the artificial hill. And today the bing is enjoyed by walkers, hikers, couples enjoying a picnic, and the summit offers a tremendous view over the local area, which includes the Calderwood itself. The name Oakbank is believed by local legend to have stemmed from a time when a young Mary Queen of Scots visited the area in the 16th century and planted French oak trees in the region. So now let's have a look at some of the different types of trees you would find within the Calderwood, including ash tree, fresh green birch tree, hazel tree, oak tree, as we covered earlier, and Scottish birch tree. And now let's have a look at some of the fruit that can be found in the Calderwood, including hazelnuts, fungi, mushrooms, toadstools, and acorns. And finally, we'll look at some of the flowers to be found within the Calderwood, including harebell, hazel catkin, honeysuckle, spring wildflowers, stitchwort, wood anemones, and bedstraw, bluebells, heath-spotted orchids, and tormental.